But especially for those of you, maybe this is your first introduction, what is Handshake? It is an online portal that provides you job internship postings, lots of career exploration resources, and is a kind of connecting piece between you and employers. So think of it very similar to LinkedIn. If you have a LinkedIn profile, you're already well set. So very similar with the Handshake profile. It is just a little bit less public, being that it is a platform, specifically you're tied to Virginia Tech, and our employers have also chosen to post things to Virginia Tech. So a lot of the postings that you are seeing are the employer has checked, yes, I would really like to recruit Virginia Tech students for this. So why should you use Handshake? All of those lovely things. Of course, we have our postings, internships, and job posts. On-campus positions, research positions are also posted on here. Local, nationwide, remote, kind of everything is on here. There are hundreds of listings added every day, every week. We also have places to find different career fairs, sign up for workshops like this, and other employer events. You can also filter by on-campus interviews, so those employers who will be here in person and interviewing on campus and those positions tied to that. Of course, you can look up information about different employers and what events they'll be attending, if they're offering any specific events for themselves. It is also the system that Career and Professional Development uses to schedule appointments. So you are welcome to schedule advising appointments with Pamela Career Services or Career and Professional Development, or use us both. But if you want to do online scheduling with our office, then you can schedule through the system. And then within that profile, keeping track of your experiences and involvement all in one place. So a focus on how can we use this platform to be successful in your job and internship search and throughout your time here at Virginia Tech. So let's get started with number one. If it is your first time logging in, you're going to use that two-factor with your Virginia Tech credentials. You can also select the privacy of your account and who can see it. It has some defaults, but if you'd like for employers to see it, I think that's an awesome option to default to, so that as they're searching through, they can potentially find you and reach out to you. So you're not doing all of the work. But if you'd like to be more open or more private, then there are those options as well. Career interests in your first setup, you filled these things out. So what are you looking for? What are you using the platform for? What are your interests? These can be edited on your profile at any time, and really a key piece to using the platform. There is an AI technology behind the platform. So the more you use it, the more keywords you use, the information you put into your profile will help the system provide you more relevant events, more relevant job listings, so that you're actually seeing what you want to see instead of everything else, all the thousands of positions that are in there that aren't as related. So keep this updated based on your current job search, your current interests. Those can change over time, so keep checking back on your interest section. So ties in really nicely to your profile. Again, if you already have a LinkedIn profile, easy to nice copy and paste to get started in here. But very, very similar. You're going to have information automatically populated. The system is connected to our university system, which is where it gets that information. So things like your major, what college you're in. You can edit things on most of these sections with the little pencil icon, except for just a few things. You can also see if you don't want your GPA to be public to employers, you can select to hide that, or especially if you're really proud of it, have that out there for them to see. But there are some things that you'll see are locked that you won't be able to adjust. It'll also tell you how complete the profile is. Typically recommend aiming for that 60 to 80%, just because sometimes some of the sections may not be as relevant to you, but really try to fill this out as much as possible. So what are the sections within here? Again, that education is going to automatically populate. You can add your work experience, volunteer experience, any types of organizations or extracurriculars that you're a part of. You can also list specific courses and projects that you've been doing in your classroom work, as well as there's a skills section. So this is really nice, again, for employers as they're looking for different people with specific skills. Great to see those on your profile, especially those technical skills. You can also use this to upload documents, so your resume, cover letter, and you can mark whether or not you want your resume to be visible on your profile, or as I mentioned, if employers are checking you out on your profile, that they could read your resume rather than you just submitting it somewhere. So that's up to you. As well as a photo. So as you saw, and for your LinkedIn as well. One little plug, if you didn't know or you don't have a headshot already that is nice, clean, and professional, we do offer our Iris photo booth, which has a really nice plain white background, some good lighting, and you can make little edits to it as well. Very, very simple to use. So you can schedule a 15-minute appointment within Handshake to use that photo booth here in the Smith Career Center. And then you can upload it to your LinkedIn and your Handshake and have that look very nice. You can also build your profile by uploading your resume if you already have one created, putting it in there, and then it will parse out your information into the different sections. Just be sure to click the add button to make sure it shows up on your profile. But your personal information, again, you have some customization here on what people can see. But as I mentioned, this is the section with the interest that is really, really key to helping the system work for you. So filling out at least 3 of these fields make you 2.5 times more likely to see and apply for those relevant opportunities. So again, as your interests change, as your job search changes, so if you're switching from an internship search or an on-campus job search to a full-time search, make sure you're updating what your interests are, where it's located, type of job you're looking for, so that the system can help put those things that are most relevant up top for you. Also, 80% of students who fill out these 3 fields also get messaged by a recruiter. So again, comparing with LinkedIn, it has a messaging system within the platform. So it's not just you using it, but also the employers. So by filling these things out, you might match to a position and the recruiter might reach out to you that way and invite you to apply or invite you to attend an event. So be mindful, check those messages and respond to them, especially if it's an opportunity or a company that you're interested in, because you never know what will happen there. That's why this interest section is probably the most important part of your profile, other than your kind of general experience. So I mentioned the skills. This is where you can add them. If you upload your resume and use that, it might take out some skills that it pulled from your resume already, but especially those technical skills, add that in there. Similar to LinkedIn, you can add some more of those interpersonal skills as well. So you'll see like the customer service, so a little less technical, but still field and industry relevant. All right, so that is a quick overview of the profile. We can always go back into the system if y'all have any questions at the end to get you refreshed on that. But I think this was second from what I most saw was how to use the platform to search for those opportunities. So this is your homepage or dashboard. Sometimes it updates of what it looks like. But as you use the system, it will start customizing what shows up here. So the different events, popular positions, new positions that are relevant to your major and your interests, those will start showing up there. So things like this section of new jobs recommended for you. So based on things that you've already applied for or types of roles that you viewed, again, the more you use the system, the more the system's going to help you. Job roles is a general kind of term that they use for more of just what does that position do rather than a specific job title or a specific industry. You can search by role. So think consultant would be a role, business analyst would be a role. So you're not restricting on company, industry, or specific title. It's more of what is that description of the position. And more things, if other people in your major are searching and clicking on certain things, those will likely pop up for you as well. And then also based on your interests, say you're looking for an on-campus job, it should likely recommend you some on-campus positions. All right, so to get to the job board, we're going to go up in the top left corner where it says jobs. Within here, just like any other type of job board that you're using, there are lots of different filters that you can play around with. So I recommend opening it up by all filters to see what your options are. And you can search by type. So if you're looking for an internship, you likely don't need a full-time position. So instead of the 50,000, we'll narrow it down to maybe 30,000. And then from there, we'll get more niche into the areas that you're looking for. That job role, as I mentioned, as well. And location. So I know location can be really important, whether you're looking for a position close to home, if you're open to remote, if you are open to anywhere but have some ideal cities you want to go to, that's where that location can be helpful. Even for on-campus positions, you could search Blacksburg and just put that distance down to like 5 miles, and then you'll capture anything kind of local and on campus, no matter if it's tagged as on campus or internship or something else. Again, there's a remote filter now that has been a new addition. Another thing that you can do, so as you've been adding all of these filters in, we want to save that, especially if it's a search that maybe you want to keep doing. We can save it. So typically once you've added filters, you'll see this little don't miss out pop-up show up. Click the save your search. And then you can always edit your notifications. So how often you're notified, either by email within the system, if you have the app. So it's kind of doing the work for you instead of you going into the system every day. Maybe you're getting a daily or weekly email of new positions that match your search. So help the system work for you, a little passive search that way. And here's the different things that you can do. There is a Handshake app. So if you are more attuned to using an app rather than the web browser, you can get your push notifications that way as well. Also sorting the positions that come up. Typically, we'll see a default to the date posted, so the most recent, or you might have the relevance filter based on your search. So you can switch it up, see which application deadlines are coming up so you can get your application in there before it expires. So you can sort your results that way, make it work for you. The little banner icon is how you save positions. So you can also see up here next to the jobs, that's your save tab. So if you're not going to apply right away, click the little bookmark and then it'll go into your save folder so that you can apply later. All right. Other things, if you have specific employers that you're interested in, they all have pages in here as well. So you can follow the employers so you can be notified when they are attending an event or if they posted a new job, if they're coming to a career fair that's within the Handshake system, or if they're offering an information session. Following that will give you notifications so that you can be the first to apply. You can also organize your search in the My Jobs. Or if you have scheduled with one of our on-campus interviews, that will be within the system as well. So you can see that under my meetings. As I mentioned, you can upload those documents so you can find them all there. And this is where I mentioned you can mark on your profile whether or not you want it to be visible. So hopefully that outlined a lot of the questions as far as using the system to find those jobs, but make the system work for you. So interest in how can I use the platform to connect with these employers that are in the system? Look for this box. So within the listings of a job, oftentimes you'll see the title, the company, and then you might see a person's name and their title. That means they have selected a specific box that says, hey, I am open to students messaging me. So when you click on the actual job description, that's where this box will pop up and say, I'm applying for the position, or I have a question about the position. Click send a message and you'll send it within the system. And that's where you can give your introduction, either, hey, I applied for this. I'm really excited to hear from you and hope to get an interview, just some little introduction to help you stand out. Or again, if you have questions, hi, before I apply for this internship, I have a couple questions. Do you have time to chat, or are you able to answer these for me? Likely, they should be responding to these messages in a higher frequency than on LinkedIn. LinkedIn can sometimes be a hit or miss, but since they have specifically said they're open messages, they should be checking this for messages. Some of them, a little bit rare from what I've seen, but again, check those employer pages. Specific contacts may also have the ability to schedule time with them to set up some of those initial conversations. And some of those are within the system as well. And this is what each employer page looks like. They'll have a banner, some information about the company. Again, you can see specifically just the roles at that company or events that they'll be at. So I mentioned events a lot. So using the system under the jobs is that events tab. So that is where you will find all of these wonderful events that Pamplin Career Services is holding. If you search Pamplin, you'll see all of those. But other things as well with the employer information sessions, other career fairs that are happening, and workshops and programs that Career and Professional Development also host will be listed in here where you can register for those. So here's all the different types, and you can use the filters. They keep updating this section, so play around with it. We're still getting familiar with it, but utilize those category filters to figure out the type of workshop or event that you're looking for. Very similar to LinkedIn on that connection and messaging piece, based on different visibility, you can also connect with other students and students at other universities as well. So sometimes at the end of a job description, there might be other students who have interned there previously. So based on that profile visibility and kind of privacy settings, you are welcome to also message them. Messaging other students might be a little bit more hit or miss based on how they use the system, but that could be a great opportunity just to be like, hey, I see you did this internship. It's something that I'm also interested in. Would you be able to tell me what you really liked about it or what I should know for the interview? You can also find that on the specific employer pages. All right, and a quick overview. I mentioned you can meet with us if you'd like to meet with me and have a chat about anything career related. In that Career Center tab on the left, that's where you get to our page with our appointments and our resources. So pretty simple to work through of scheduling, selecting your topic, and then picking your time. You can select a specific staff member or appointment medium. We offer Zoom and in person. So if you have a preference, I recommend using that appointment medium filter. So all of those preferences. And then you'll be able to see past appointments as well. If you're in any classes that are requiring you to make appointments, this is a great way to take a screenshot. You'll see the completed status and you can submit that as proof. Right there, the completed status. All right, that was rapid fire, but we have about 5 minutes left for any questions. I can open up the Handshake system as well to walk through anything if people had questions on how to navigate something, or if you need me to go back to one of the very detailed things that I maybe skipped over. Specifically for companies that have on-campus interviews, or to help you research before an interview. Then we can go in here and show you on the jobs page. We'll look at the postings that come up. And then within the filters, you can select the interviewing on campus. So these are people who are specifically set up interview times with us. And these are positions that are taking resumes and they're processing them to have campus interviews. So here we have 27 jobs currently. We have some advisor or analyst positions that might be interesting. We also have a program called Employer Date in Residence. So these are not necessarily interviews, but they are opportunities for you to meet with a representative. They might be able to look over your resume if you have questions about the company, kind of general feedback, but that's a great networking opportunity. So it's in here just because we use the interview scheduling system, but it's not an actual interview. So they're not looking to actually assess you for a position during that meeting. That's how you find that. Or if we look under the employers, and this is kind of how we can look through based on industry, if you're still looking for different types of employers to keep in mind, or if you just want to look, I know Deloitte's a very popular one, so maybe I want to follow them, or I can look at them specifically. So you can also see the reviews that people leave. So oftentimes students who have done internships there will leave a review, what they liked, what they didn't like, and questions that they had. So a great resource to look up information about each company on here as well. And there was a question about putting multiple schools on your profile. So if you are a transfer student, or if you are a graduate student, or if you've attended multiple schools, yes. So your Virginia Tech information is going to automatically populate for you. But if you click on the little pencil icon, you should be able to either add another one or edit on your profile. And look, yeah, there's that add school button. So you just add another school for your non-Virginia Tech education on here. And so a question on keywords in the search. So you want to think about what are common words within your field. I know analyst is a very common job title. However, analyst looks different depending on the company, depending on just the position. You might have a variety of analysts. So that's typically my example of financial analyst looks different from a data analyst, looks different from a business analyst. So knowing kind of what is that actual role that they're doing. So we could even see, we'll have to clear, or no, never mind, reset. So if we just put an analyst out of 31,000 jobs, 2.3 thousand are titled as analysts. So definitely be checking what is that actual role. Another thing that I often use is our first destination survey. You can find that on our homepage at career.vt.edu. And we have our outcomes report. So you can look at this to see where people in your major who have graduated, where they have gone, and check out their job titles here as well. So we have all of that data of like the last 10 years included. Yes, thank you so much, Hannah, for that in the chat. Amazing. Also, don't forget to utilize your professors, different faculty and staff within Pamplin across the university, have wonderful resources, have specific field knowledge based on their experience as well. So they'll be able to give you some nice tips and advice and potential connections as well. So be sure to ask them questions too. But I know we are at the 30-minute mark, but thank you for wonderful questions. And feel free to schedule with either of us to help you out.